Thank you, everyone. To start with, I'll just play this little bit of video.
Come on, guys, we're late again. The bell goes in 20 minutes.
Can I take the telescope to Kinley?
No, Ms. Jones said no toys at school. Put your other shoe on and take this brush. You can do your hair in the car. Where is it? Thank you.
Let's help Mummy. Yeah?
Oh, for goodness sake. Dad, can you bring his bag, please? Hurry
Yeah.
up, I've got to go. Dad?
Yeah? See you, soldier.
Okay, slow. Don't touch my stuff. Mom!
Oh, really? No.
Thought you had
I did.
That's a similar sort of scenario to what we found ourselves in at home a few years ago. This is our youngest daughter, Georgie, youngest of 4 girls. Daddy came home from work one day, reversed his tool trailer and his ute into the garage. Unfortunately for us, we didn't realise she'd gotten through the door that goes between the house and the garage, and she was in the wrong spot at the wrong time. We lost her on the spot. Once I did the research and I found out about the statistics and how often this happens, we put our foundation together to try and promote the awareness message about keeping kids safe around cars, especially in our homes, which we think is the safest place for them to be. And so here we are doing this. Low-speed vehicle runovers. Unfortunately, they happen so often. They actually have a technical name that the government and the research organisations use. LSVRs. Over 2001 to 2010, there was an average of 7 children died and 60-odd seriously injured every year just through low-speed vehicle runovers, mostly around the home. In Queensland, recent statistics show that there's nearly 3 children a week that are being run over. Unfortunately, with statistics, we don't know the real story because there are so many that happen that don't get reported because driveways are not on our road system, and so they're not included in the national road toll and road data. So the statistics could actually be much higher. All the research I read after our accident shows boiled down to 3 key areas that we need to cover to prevent these accidents from happening. We need to change our environment, especially around our homes. We need to look at changing our vehicles and an awareness campaign, doing the sort of stuff that we're doing, just promoting that message. Why do we need change? If you have a look in these pictures here, there's up to 60-odd children can fit behind a vehicle, and the driver, when sitting in the driver's seat looking in the mirrors, just can't see them. So here's an example of us. We actually had an ex-football player, New South Wales NRML player, sitting in the driver's seat at a display we did with a 10-metre mat behind that car. He could only just see the people at the very end of the mat. So if you've got this huge blind spot behind your car when you're driving, reversing, what chance has one small child got if they dash past the car or something when you don't see them? So how can we keep our kids safe at home around vehicles? We can supervise, separate and see. There are 3 key words which are consistent with Kids Safe Australia, their same message. Supervision is always number 1. Active supervision. Doesn't just mean, oh, yep, I can see Johnny over there, he's right. It's physically hanging on to the child when there's a car moving on the property. Have a policy. Every time there's a vehicle moving into or out of your property, where are the kids? Stop and check, look and see where they are. Make sure you know where they are. Because kids are small, they're hard to see around vehicles, and children, it's the nature of children to be inquisitive, impulsive, and they don't have that ability to understand personal danger, especially that 0 to 5 age group. They've got the mobility, they want to go and see Dad because he's coming home from work, but they don't get that car can be dangerous if they go near it. So that's where we have to be vigilant about where our kids are. And it's down at the car park, at the shops, getting in and out of the car in the car parks. Unfortunately, our car parks are not designed for pedestrians, they're designed for cars, so we have to take even more care. It's, going to say goodbye to Grandpa out at the barbecue, the family barbecue at Auntie Fred's place or whatever, making sure that, we're all out there saying goodbye. Hang on, who's got the kids? Has Dad got them? Has Mum got them? Where are they? Separating our kids is another big thing that we can do. For us, we'd designed our house with driveways up one end, garages up the other. We'd fenced off the backyard. We missed the door that goes between the house and the garage. If you've got a house that's got an attached garage that you can walk through, what's the door system like? There's the bit about the design, as you can see, keeping those living areas away from wherever kids are going to play. Fencing our driveways, if it's possible. Can we fence the driveway so that kids can't get out to anywhere near the vehicles? If there's a wall or a fence between a child and a car, there's less chance of an accident happening. And I'm just going to say, and here's our door. If we had the door handle up higher with a self-closer on it and it swings shut so that your kids can't push it open into the garage, then it's like a pull fence gate that's going to stop them from accessing the garage at all. So simple measures that physically stops kids going near wherever their cars are. And treat driveways like a small road. You don't let kids play on the road, don't let them play in the driveway. We also, in our garage, because we've got a double car garage and with automatic roller doors, if my husband had to stop and get out of the car and pull the door up, he'd have seen her. But because he'd pressed the button for the door to go up and got ready to reverse, he didn't see in the garage first. So that visibility and being able to see. We've got a cut-off switch now so that if the internal access door's open, the roller doors won't work. So I can chock that open, get the kids in the car safely, and no other car can come or go while I'm doing that. So that's another little feature that, another physical barrier we could have. If you're someone who lives in an apartment or, you've got a shared driveway or longer driveways, they're all danger zones, and you'll really need to be vigilant because it's not your kids that might be the issue. It might be the kids that run past from next door. It might be the bloke down in the far unit who just doesn't realise there's kids living in any of these units and he's turning up on his way to work because he's running late. So we've got to be really, really aware in those situations as well. The third thing we can do, obviously, is see. Be aware every time you get in the car, do your circle of safety. Take the long way around to the driver's side. Make sure there's no one in or around or behind your car. This is applicable whether it's at home, at the Relly's house, down at the car park, at the shops, outside daycare or school. Every time you go, just take that extra second or two to walk around the car and check there's no one in the way. If you jump in the car and then you get a phone call and you stop and take that phone call, do another double check. Check behind, look behind, check your rear vision mirrors because it only takes a few seconds for a child to break away from mum and run past and get in the way. We also encourage people to look at vehicle reversing systems. Now, there's new technology constantly evolving, coming out. You've seen probably the ads on TV where the car can park itself and that sort of thing. That technology is going to become available more and more over the years. In the meantime, look out for something where you've got a reversing camera so you can see out in that blind spot behind your car, but also to autonomous emergency braking. We've got a system on our stand over there that we've had in our cars for the last couple of years. It's about $1,500 to install. It's an aftermarket product that is very simple and doesn't interfere with any of the car electronics. And basically, it's like a reverse camera. It engages when you put the car in reverse. But when you're reversing, if you don't see something behind you or a child jumps in the way unexpectedly, it will actually put the brake on for you. So that sort of technology is available. It's becoming, more readily available on the market. So they're the sort of things to start to look for as well. That system, if we'd had that in place on our vehicles, our daughter would still be here as well. So we need people, don't be like us, don't be complacent. We sort of thought, we know all about that, our kids are safe. We need to get people thinking, well, it could happen to us, so what can we do to prevent it? Because these type of accidents can happen to anyone, anywhere, anytime. Driveway safety and vehicle safety is everyone's responsibility. So the key message is supervise, separate, see, and I'll just play the last half of that video for you.
It's that easy. Lose focus for just a few seconds and a terrible tragedy can happen. Each year, children are injured and lose their lives in driveways.
Went to reverse my trailer into my garage and felt a bump and realised I ran over my little girl.
Driveway safety is an issue for everyone. Tradies, mums, dads, grandparents and friends. Keep our kids safe by supervising them, separating them from the driveway and the car when you aren't there.
Bye-bye.
Secure any access points to a driveway or garage with child-proof locks. When you are building or renovating, design your driveway and fences to allow high visibility driving in or out. Don't let your kids play in driveways. Keep your kids close any time you're in a driveway, whether it's yours or someone else's. It's about seeing where they are at all times. Make sure your children are safe. They're counting on you. Supervise, separate and see.
And that video was actually literally released last week in New South Wales. We were in Sydney for that launch with the Roads Minister, Duncan Gay, and that's available online at the New South Wales Transport website. And to finish off, I have a quote from the HomeSafe group. There is no worse situation than seeing your loved ones injured in your own home, later realising that it could have been prevented. And we know that only too well. If there's any questions, feel free to give me a yell, and thank you for your time.